What's up, YouTube? It's Brian here, and today we're gonna be doing.
No, say it right.
Oh.
Because I see
what?
the comment. I see the comment.
Oh,
of
okay,
going,
okay,
but
sorry.
where's the today?
All right. Let me try it again. What's up, YouTube? It's Brian here, and today. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better.
We have a special guest with me doing a little podcast typey video, I guess is what we would call it. Is that what you would call it?
Podcast.
I don't know what a podcast is exactly, but this is pretty close. We have a table with mugs. If you guys don't know, this is Allie Brooke. She's a YouTuber. She's been in a few of my videos recently, 2 of them. They're awesome videos. 3 videos. We've done 3 videos because we tried the labor pain simulator and 2 vlogs. Allie is, or was, a teen mom until 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'm not a teen mom
Happy
anymore.
birthday.
I've graduated, guys.
You have. Also, we are shooting today's video outside, which has a lot of pros and cons. We wanted to be outside because Allie's baby, Cartia, is currently napping, so we don't want to wake her. 1, 2, who doesn't love being outside? The cons are you might hear a lot of crazy stuff, and it's kind of hard to not squint sometimes. So if we're squinting extra hard, just know we're trying. Okay. Anyway, so I wanted to do a video with Allie that I thought was really interesting because I think Allie has a story that's very unique. It's very, well, I wouldn't say unique. It's a very intense story, right? What?
I am unique.
You are very unique. Yes, you are. No, I just think it's very fascinating. You know, the concept of teen pregnancy is very scary to a lot of people. It's very taboo to certain people. It's an experience that I think you never really plan for until it happens.
We should plan for it, in my opinion.
Well, I think that's...
Well, I mean, since you make dating videos, like I know that's kind of your audience, it's just going to be... It ties in. Nobody wants to talk about the dark sides of dating and getting into serious relationships.
Sure.
And getting, like, you talk about getting physically close with people at some point. You should be talking about the next steps.
And, you know, it's funny because I've done a lot of Q&As and, you know, or collab videos where I sit down and talk to a girl to get, you know, girls' advice on things because I'm a believer in I can give advice based on my own opinions, and I also think it's easier to speak from a guy's perspective because I obviously don't speak for all guys, right? But the amount of guys I know and how I think guys think, I have a better understanding, whereas knowing how a girl thinks is different. Now, I think with you, what's so fascinating to me is you're like younger than me, but at the same time, sometimes you feel older than me because of the fact that you're a mom, right? And and I think your perspective is a very unique perspective, and I know from our own personal, you know, friendship that you think of things a lot differently. And so I wanted to do a video really to just kind of sit down and ask you about your story for those of you guys who don't know her story, which she shares on her channel a lot, which I'll obviously have a link to in the description. And a lot of this I already know, but I thought it would be very cool for you to kind of say it for my audience to hear, for anyone who may deal with something like this at some point, or is dealing with it, or 2, just to kind of put some things in perspective, especially for the younger girls out there watching this. So why don't you start off by saying just a little brief bio of like how your YouTube career started, which was from Cartia.
Okay, the Spark Notes version of my life.
Spark Notes, yeah.
My IMDb is that I'm Allie. As you know, I'm from Houston. I started my YouTube channel when I found out that I was, not found out that I was pregnant, but it was after, I guess I realized how hard it is to be young and pregnant. Like, I had just got told...
But you were pregnant when you started it.
Yeah.
So you knew you were pregnant.
Yep. I had just told some people and gotten some really bad things happen to me at that point, and it just really shocked me how the world kind of came crashing down around me, and I was really surprised because technically it's not new. Like, I knew it was life-changing, but I just didn't expect it to be the way it was, and I thought there has to be other girls going through this out there. So one of the first things I did, my 17-year-old self, was YouTube it.
Wow.
Is 17 and pregnant. And I looked it up, and I was like, "Is there anyone that's done this?" And
so you searched it up.
I searched it,
okay.
And I saw that there were some like normal girls talking about it, sharing their experience. And I'm like, I know there's more out there, and I was just wanting to share my own experience. So that's what I did. I made my first video for one person, for anyone that needed to see it.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like documenting my pregnancy a little bit, talking about things, I remember I made a video of Kylie Jenner's pregnancy. She announced it when I was pregnant. So Beyonce, Serena Williams, and Kylie were all pregnant when I was pregnant.
Wow, that's quite quite the competition to be surrounded
right?
by,
So
you know?
I felt good. Yeah, then it just took off from there, and then when I had her, the story changed because I changed.
Right.
And she taught me so much, and she was such a light in my life during the darkest times.
Yeah.
That I was like, I just felt compelled to share it. Like,
Yeah.
share the good times and share what being a teen mom really is. Because it's not what I thought.
Sure.
It's not what anyone thinks. It's not 16 and pregnant on TV. It's not anything I've ever seen anywhere. It's so beyond words. And I'm like, I'm going to do my best to change the narrative.
Right.
Even if it doesn't, and nothing happens. So that's when I started filming routine videos, like teen mom morning routine, night routine. This is what it looks like overnight. Like, it just changed my life. We went
Yeah.
from having nothing, being on food stamps, to I'm sitting in California right now talking to you.
So it's funny that you say you YouTubed, right? You searched up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, for advice, and it makes me think of how many things people use YouTube for. Obviously entertainment, YouTubers, stuff like that, but like if you want to learn how to screw in a light bulb,
Literally put
search
together
up on
a
YouTube.
crib.
How do you be a teen mom? Search it up on YouTube. Like, I mean, it's literally what you did, you know, it's just kind of funny to think about. But let's go back to when you found out you were pregnant. Did you feel like you had knowledge, the right knowledge and information at your disposal to prepare you to make smart decisions to prevent having, you know, a pregnancy that young? And then what it was like finding out, your initial thoughts, that whole process.
I definitely think that technically with the internet, resources are out there. So I went to a private Catholic Christian school my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the conversations surrounding like relationships or even sexuality and that aspect of life was just kind of hush hush. It was
Yeah.
really like, it's for making babies, that makes sense, it's true, that is what it's for, and you don't do it. You just don't do it until you get married.
Right.
And
So abstinence.
yeah, abstinence was definitely a huge thing, but just there's a lot of questions, and you go to the internet for them, and it's almost the opposite. The internet, if anything, can over-provoke just ideas and thoughts and whatever, and the mental part of it isn't taught in schools enough. I think, okay, here's what a condom is, here's what it's for, here's what birth control is, here's what it's for, and even just having a resource around you, like a parent or a teacher or someone to talk to it about,
Sure.
because I think I understood a lot of it, but I don't think I felt comfortable talking about it. And then just the whole aspect of like, nobody just really gets it. Like, sex is for kids. Like, you're doing things to stop what it's for.
Yeah.
You just have to remember that when you're doing it. It's not just something you do for fun or to get it out of the way, which I think is a huge aspect. Almost the more hush hush it was, the more people were like, okay, like, it sounds cool, it's this mysterious thing, and that's just, I think the conversation needs to be started, which is what I find so cool about YouTube and talking about it and just getting the conversation out there. And then my initial reaction was just surprise, though it shouldn't have been.
My thought always was when I was younger, you know, because I had the fear of getting someone pregnant, you know, young, and just, I think everyone does, every teenager who's sexually active thinks about that. When I used to think about it, I always wondered, you know, what the girl would do. Would she tell her mom first, or her parents first, and then tell me? Or would she tell me right away, or would she not tell me right away?
You get, what's it called? What's the word when you're ballsy, but, like, not ballsy?
We're talking about teen pregnancies over here. You're using the adjective.
No, I don't.
Ballsy.
Please don't include that.
So you find out that you're pregnant, you freak out. So
And
what's
then
next?
I told my boyfriend at the time.
Before your parents?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Oh, I see. I don't know.
Do you not know that, actually?
I probably forgot.
Okay, that's a good story because I actually waited a really long time to tell them.
Okay.
So then I waited a little while and told my sister first because that's just
I think that's
whoever, a friend or a sister, someone. I think friends are dangerous in that sense, but I mean sisters can be too sometimes. But sisters, family. So I didn't tell her. I go, I could possibly, like, I might
there's
be
a
pregnant.
chance
I think
there's a baby in me.
That's literally what I said, because I'm like, I haven't taken a test yet, but I had. And, you know, it might be the kid. And she goes, no, you're not Allie, you know. That.
Yeah.
So her reaction was like,
no way.
I'm like, but Vivian, like, I have a really strong feeling that you're not, like, promise me.
But
like,
you
I
already,
know you're
but
not.
you already knew you were.
I knew I was. So after that, I kind of.
Out of all the reactions, I think, you know, you've mentioned this to me before. You got an interesting look at someone's character based on how they responded when you told them.
Always. If you want to know someone's true heart and just truly see a raw, real person, and in any situation, it's adding pressure to something. Anything. It's this life. If you add pressure to anything, I like to think of everything as like a cup. You are filled with stuff. You're filled with happiness, you're filled with, maybe there's a little anger in there, a little craziness, whatever, but you're filled with it, and as the minute it gets jostled, or it's put under pressure that it spills out.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna spill out that's not in there.
How did people react?
My mom was, I mean, of course, it's just the shock is huge, and just now that I'm a parent, I get it. It's like your kids really are a huge reflection of you, and you can't help but blame yourself sometimes.
Oh, of course.
And like even when Cartia's a toddler, and I blame myself for things, like it's just you, and then just you want the best for them, and what you think is the best for them looks so different than what happens a lot.
Yeah.
My mom's reaction was just kind of sad, but then she's like, we gotta do this. We need to buckle down, and we're gonna figure it out. My stepdad had a good reaction. Oh my gosh, look at me. And then my dad had a different reaction as well.
So everyone had different reactions. Well, we're going to get into all the positive sides of this, which there are many. But I just wanted to kind of start off by bringing everyone up to speed with, you know, the story of how. And really, one of the big questions I know a lot of people would probably have, myself included, when I first, you know, learned about your story was, how heavily did you weigh out different options? How heavily did you think about having the baby versus adoption versus an abortion? How did you process that? And did you weigh out options heavily, or did you always know, no, I'm having the baby and I'm gonna keep her?
When you start having sex, you should ask yourself, what if it, you know, happens?
Yeah.
What would you do? And I always told myself, especially growing up Catholic, abortion always just was out of my comfort zone and
So it was out of the picture?
Beliefs. Yes.
Okay.
But then once it happened, I felt like it was only right to think about all three. In fact, I even went to Planned Parenthood to get my first ultrasound for her. And they booked an abortion, literally without asking me. I never showed up, of course, but...
Jeez. I wanted to get into another thing that I think ties into a lot of the subjects that I really am passionate on. I want to talk about how people treated you and looked at you and the experiences you had once you were pregnant. How friendships changed, how when you're out and about, just feeling like people are giving you a look of disapproval, maybe sometimes saying things. What did that experience teach you? You know, if anything.
Being in teen pregnancy was the most lonely thing I've ever done in my entire life. And being pregnant and getting those looks, getting the talk to, and like all sorts of things really happened. It was really isolating, and you literally feel like, if you've ever read The Scarlet Letter, you know, it's a classic book about just being kind of sexual, like the fact that sex can just set you apart from everyone and you can just be shunned so badly. So it taught me a lot, just in the sense that I don't know, what did it just really not to care about it, because behind the scenes I was growing a new life. I feel like that's the funny parts. A lot of things can make you feel alone, but I wasn't technically.
Something interesting I think you told me once. I'm not a vlogger, like I don't consider myself as a vlogger. I make YouTube videos, but it's not often that I'm out in public and doing stuff. And I was telling her, I said, it's hard enough for me to get the courage sometimes to vlog in public, let alone be a young mom with a baby vlogging in public.
Oh yeah.
And then you told me having a kid changed everything, and you don't care what anyone thinks, because your world and perspective is completely different, because you're like, the things you think matter changed, right?
100%. Yep. Like, it just doesn't matter. I mean, even after giving birth, you just stop caring about stuff. Like, I was breastfeeding too, so like my boobs were out and like milk was out and I was barfed on, and there's all sorts of great stuff that comes with being a parent.
Oh, I've seen it in the small scale.
Yeah.
I've had a small scale.
Newborning.
Cartia may have pooped in my house, and I called it. I just want to say, Cartia had pooped like 3 times yesterday, okay? And Allie was like, I don't know what's going on, her stomach's upset, whatever. And I noticed that Cartia kept kind of squatting around. I was like, I don't think she's done, you know? And like, we were going inside and we were swimming, so Allie took her diaper off, and we were going to set up just some of her stuff or whatever. I wanted Allie to put the diaper on right away. And Allie was like, I'm going to do it in a minute. I was like, okay. It's like, I swear to God, if she poops in my house. And literally 30 seconds later, I look over because I noticed Cartia walks away into the little hallway. She's just squatting there. And I see the poop come out right on.
You saw it?
Oh, I saw, and she was trying to catch it, which was kind of nice of her at least. And then she throws it. She throws it. She goes, ew! I swear on my life. And I literally was just like, Allie, I told you she was gonna shit, and she did. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff like that happens when you have a baby. So I guess it is humbling, right? The reason I wanted to bring up how other people were is, something I'm very, a firm believer in is just doing everything, possible to prevent bullying. I think bullying is just something. I think there's so many different issues in the world, right? That people struggle with: health, money, disease. There's environmental issues. There's so many different causes you can focus in on. The thing about bullying to me is it could be so easily stopped.
Yeah.
There's not many things. You can't easily stop cancer. If they can, they haven't told us. But you know, certain things you can't just change. Being nice and kind is something everyone's capable of doing.
So true.
And
I think it starts at Cartia's age. 100%.
Potentially. I mean, that's a whole nother talk, but I do think just hearing how someone would judge you, like how, and you've told me stories about adults saying things to you, and I'm like, look,
nobody's perfect.
no one's perfect.
First of all.
And do you know how many teenagers are having sex?
That's my point. Is like I used
Why?
to
'Cause
get
I'm
judged
the
by
person?
teenagers.
Yeah.
Literally teenagers. And that's like, you're doing exactly what I was doing.
Right.
Dodging the bullets I was dodging.
Yeah.
I'm just dealing with it. In fact, another aspect was that a lot of girls actually came out and told me that they had followed through with an abortion.
Yeah.
As weird as that is, like I got a lot of people that I know say that kind of stuff.
That's
so
more
it's
common.
Like,
abortions are more common than people let on. It's kind of another taboo thing people openly share, but it's definitely more common.
and you should, because there's a whole other healing process to
There is.
that.
I can't even imagine. Okay, so let's move forward a little bit here. So obviously, in my opinion, the right choice was made. Cartia has come into the world, changed your life for the better in many, many, many ways.
And many other people's lives.
And many other people's lives. Yes,
As
absolutely.
weird as that is.
Oh yeah, she's made an impact on mine already for sure. As have you. You've gone through. Cartia's a year and a half now. Obviously, a lot has changed, and a year and a half's not a lot of time. But I'm sure for you, it feels like, oh my God, you know, it's like that, right? And it's weird how time is. One day takes forever, right? But then a year, it's like that. The channel grows successfully. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Super exciting. Your channel is killing it. We could talk about a million things about how the channel grew and the things you did on your channel. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to check out her channel. You can see the types of videos she does. But something that I feel is one of the more important things I definitely wanted to bring up. You have done a good job, I believe, of showing your life and showing your life as a young mom, how much love is filled with that without glamorizing it.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think that's a common knock on family vloggers, and especially young moms and young single moms. I know the kind of comments you get, and you know, there's way more positive than negative, but of course there's negative like any influencer. But I think you do a good job of showing the good things, but without glorifying it. The reason I say that is because as your life has turned out how it's supposed to, and thank God, the blessings you've had, by no means, I know for a fact, you would encourage someone to get so young to try to get pregnant, right? It's a community, and you found success by chance doing it, and you know other teen moms and that are doing the same thing, successful. I thought like it would be important for you to kind of stay like, look, my life, I'm so happy that this is what's happened, but at the same time, it isn't as glamorous as YouTube even makes it seem. Because YouTube only sees 90% good. They see some of the struggles, but you know what it's like every day, day in, day out, all the complications that come with it.
I think I do a pretty good job about showing there's tantrums, there's screaming, there's crying, there's poop explosions, there's everything.
And not only that, just how it does change how your life is every day. Could you go to
changes
college? Could you can't go out just on weekends and see friends out at a bar now in your 20s. You're limited with how flexible you are with your schedule. Like every single, I mean, right now, heck, we got to go check here soon to make sure she's not throwing a fit, right? Like every single thing you do every single day, you're on the clock. You never check out.
And
That's why it's the best job and the hardest job in the world, right?
It's true, because it's fulfilling. In the aspect, you know, of being a mom is just the most fulfilling thing ever, but it is hard, and you're not meant to do it alone. I also want to stress that, because to any young girl, a lot of young girls that will plan it or not try, but not try. I hear that a lot with some teen moms because they're really into their boyfriend and they think it's going to keep him there.
Yeah.
I hate that story because it's not how it works.
I also think it's something to add on to that, just a step before that. Using sex as a way to keep someone interested or to giving someone, do you think that's going to help prolong a relationship or make someone more into you? If that's what it's requiring, it's not the right relationship.
Yeah, but I hate, like, we could even talk about it for so long. I hate just the sexualization culture today.
Yeah.
It's just so glamorized. You have little girls out here dressing and acting like it's sad because there's so much beauty in life, and that's like sex equals kids. Like boobs they're not like I just can't. I'm so passionate about it. It breaks my heart, especially as a mom of a little girl, and seeing what sex actually equals is kids, and what kids actually equal is not like family fun time. It is a lot of that, but it's also a lot of really hard struggles. You know, your bad times are multiplied by 10 and your good times are multiplied by 10. I always like to say it's their highest highs and your lowest lows.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. Again, that's why it's so fascinating for me to hear this, and I'm sure so fascinating for so many of you guys, because it's a perspective. I think people like hearing and learning about other people's perspectives, especially perspectives that are a little more rare.
As weird as it sounds, like, I'm proud of the fact that I've overcome what I've come.
Yeah.
And being a teen mom, it's like no one wants to walk around with that label.
Well, technically, you don't walk around with that label anymore.
But that's the thing. It's like, do I really not walk around with that label anymore? I'm still gonna be looked at in the grocery store the way I was looked at yesterday.
True, but I'm just saying, technically, it's the next chapter. You've had your teen mom experience, which has been, in my opinion, a very good teen mom experience, but it's been a very wild one. Maybe the truth, I should say, is it's a rarity, like you said, to be so proud about it and to have it not only change your life personally, but professionally, because it's started your career. What do you think this next chapter of young adult mom life looks like?
Well, you see, I don't think I would say it started my career. I was gonna go for nursing, actually. I get an associate's degree in 2 years, and I would be making, I think, $75,000 a year.
Sheesh.
Is entry-level nursing in Houston.
She making money.
That was the plan. That was the.
But now she's still making money. Brands, we're open for business. Please hit up my business email. Link down below. I'll love to promote your product. Support your favorite YouTubers by supporting the brands that pay them to make a living, because it's what we love to do. Fine, it didn't start your career. It changed the direction.
It changed the direction. It's always going to do that. As much as it changed, I never even wanted to be a nurse before, so that was kind of like that was how it was supposed to change it. And what YouTube really did was it changed me so much, just who I am, but it almost just made me realize my roots of, I have always loved to talk, and I love to connect with people. It's like my favorite thing to do ever since I was younger. Yeah. And it just really brought out my love for doing that and connecting to people and storytelling, and just that's how it changed it. And so professionally, just it ignited that love, and I think I want to share that in another way somehow. Sure. I don't know if it'll always be YouTube, so it's
a starting block.
It really is.
That's what I think of YouTube for myself as. It's always been the starting block. I could ask a million questions, but I'm going to try to wrap it up here with one last subject, which of course is the clickbait of the podcast, which is why video, which is why I left it for last. And obviously, being a teen mom probably makes dating a little bit more challenging and a little bit different. What has dating been like since being a teen mom?
Well, I haven't dated since being a teen mom, and now that I'm not a teen mom, I will never have dated as a teen mom, technically.
Wow, there you go.
I mean, we technically went on a friend date.
We did go on a friend date.
I have it on my channel.
I took your friend date virginity.
You did. Wouldn't say it that way.
I think it's fitting. It's fitting. Mom. So you haven't dated much since being a teen mom. Now, my question.
Not much, not at all.
Yeah, not at all. Okay. Is that your own choice? Like, in the standpoint, no. I mean, like, obviously, look. I mean, dating in general at this age, dating in general is hard as hell. I mean, I've made a YouTube channel that really grew from how everyone struggles with dating. Yeah. And that's the thing. Everyone has problems with dating. It doesn't matter age, gender, how attractive you are, how smart you are. Everyone has issues. Which is why you see all the celebrity couples don't work out. Have you been open to dating since having Cartia?
Technically, yeah.
Really, just nothing really fell into place, right, for you to date. Now, my next question on that, having her has probably changed everything about what you look for, how much more specific you are about what you look for, the amount of maturity you look for. Realistically, like, obviously it takes time, but like we've talked about this, if someone were to date you, right, they come in to a situation where you're a mom and you have to continue to be a mom, and they have to fit into that dynamic with her as some kind of a father type role. I'm not saying to be her stepdad or whatever, but they have to not only...
Well, they do have to... I think bottom line is... Or I guess you're right. Well, at least for me, I'd only date to marry.
See...
I don't think... So my personal choice is I wouldn't date to date. I would date for fun.
Sure, but then, even then, right? Let's say you date someone you think you're going to marry and you think it's the right thing. And there's a chance it might not work out. And there's a chance he builds a bond with her. And she's...
There's the tea. I couldn't even answer that because I don't know.
I think it's just crazy because it's one thing to date someone with the fear of like, okay, this may end up not working out, and then if we are friends, the friendship could end. But then when it's to a kid, let alone a baby, a little girl, it's so much more of a commitment.
100%. That's why ideally you would date the person for a while before even introducing them to your kids and stuff.
Interesting. But at this age, can you do that?
Well, that's where it's interesting for me. Like, I'm with her all the time. I think that's why I've never dated, is because I'm with her all the time. When I'm not with her, I'm always with her. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so I just, you know, if right now it'd have to be we'd be friends first.
Yeah, and see where it goes.
Yeah.
I think as a guy too, like thinking about this, and I've even told you this. I said, you know, if I were interested in talking or in someone that was a mom, no matter what age, you would have to, as a guy, be ready for that kind of commitment to enter a relationship with you. You're not like everyone else. And in the standpoint of, let me rephrase that, there's more of a level of a commitment required than just dating someone else. If there was a girl that I thought was cute and whatever, I can go out with her, because worst case scenario, it doesn't work out, and you know.
Easy.
Well, look, the sun's changing, which means pretty much our time is up, because it's going to look super overexposed. I mean, we could have talked about so much more, obviously. I'm sure that, well, I know you've already been a terrific mom. Again, your channel's killing it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's going to be very exciting to see, you know, how your journey continues to unfold. It's awesome. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to Allie to see more of her and Cartia. I'm also on the channel a little bit, you know, so make sure to give those videos some extra love. Anyway, there you guys have it. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let us know in the comments if you like this type of content. Any other questions you may have for Allie, because you'll be reading the comments, I'm sure.
I will be, since I don't have comments.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments down below. Also, I have links to all my other social media accounts in the description. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for new videos every single week. Until next time,
Keep it real, banana peels.
see you guys in the next one. Bye!